Hello folks, the Celtic Nerd here bringing you another nerdy video. Now, this video is a little different, folks. At the time of this recording, it is the 11th of March, I want to say is the term. Yes, the 11th of March. I'm just about ready, about to start, prepping some stuff for Ludo Sports, which is not much. It's just me getting some of my, stuff packed. But I want to do a very special, and there's my phone, falling off the desk. Please be all right. It is all right. Thank God for that. Now, alright, so this is a very special video because I do want to talk about some of the things about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, I do want to emphasize certain things, folks. Before I even start talking, I want to emphasize certain things. I'm in no way an expert on Middle Eastern culture. I'm not an expert on Catholicism. I'm not an expert on the Catholic Church, of Italian politics and governance. I am not an expert on I think I said Italian culture. I am not an expert in I'm not an expert on Constantinople or the Istanbul or the Ottoman Empire. I'm not an expert on Native American cultures or the events that took place during the war, the American War of Independence. I'm not an expert on slavery or pirates or what took place at the height of piracy in the Caribbean. I am not an expert on Egyptian culture or myth. I'm not an expert on on Victorian London, I'm not an expert of the French Revolution. Let's see, what else is there? Oh yeah, I'm not an expert on Greek myth or ancient Greek culture, and I'm not an expert when it comes to Vikings, their culture, and the kingdoms that ruled over England before, the unification done by the Saxons. Oh boy, I should have grabbed a drink. I'm going to pause this recording real quick, folks. For you, it'll be instantaneous, but I'm going to need a drink of water for this. Okay, I have my glass of water with me. So, the reason why I listed off a bunch of things that I am not an expert in, and that is because I've been seeing a lot of shit being thrown at Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadow. Now, the stuff being thrown at Ubisoft is because of Assassin's Creed Shadow. And I just want to say I am sick and tired of this whole bad-mouthing games and shit before they even came out. Before they even come out, I'm tired of it. The game got delayed for a month because they really want to polish things up. So, you'd think fans would be happy about that because we finally won in terms of the argument of, oh, well, they should stop releasing games before they're ready. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong, Ubisoft is not the best company. I did a whole video with Skullduggery TV, talking about that, especially when it comes to Warner Brothers. But that being said, folks, we won. We're getting now Ubisoft did a whole bunch of delays on Skull and Crossbones, and that really did not help that game. Fair enough, but calm the fuck on. It should be a good thing that games get delayed, because hopefully the devs will fix what's been done. Now that's not the reason why I listed I'm not an expert in all these different cultures and all that, and that is because I've now seen people being now again, this is on the internet, so take it from with a grain of fucking salt, because you can't really trust anything on the internet. And this is, I will argue, this is people being overly political or overly social correctness. Now don't get me wrong, I'm all for being politically correct, but again, what me and my man like to say, like, typically Ireland is politically correct with some cop on. And that is because, it's okay. You should try and be, correct and whatnot, but like, have some common fucking sense. Take context into consideration. Now, anyway, that being said, I'm seeing people like now. Some of them are. I've seen reports of some Japanese people being upset about Assassin's Creed Shadow, and now, in some cases, I understand why they're upset. For example, there's an incident with a statue. Now, this is where I will say Ubisoft, calm the fuck on. Where they took they made a statuette of the two characters on one of those. I'm not sure what you call them. There's something gates. They're very iconic when you think Japan shrines and whatnot. They're like these gates. And, like, fair enough, like, because the gate that they decided to model for this model, like the miniature, was after the gate that was left standing after the bombs dropped on Japan. Which, okay, no, in all complete fairness, be upset about that, because that was a horrific event that cost the lives of, like, so many people, and it is still being affected to this day. The land is still irradiated, unlivable, and it's going to be that way for maybe a few more decades. So, fair, like, in that case, I'm completely understanding with that outrage. Ubisoft was being extremely insensitive, or whoever designed that gate, that miniature, it should be, like, looked at like, hey man, that was very insensitive. Yeah, no, we should have chosen one of the more generic designs. Now, on that note, I'm seeing people being outcried about how Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to misinterpret and misrepresent Japanese culture and Japanese myth. On that note, calm the fuck on. Like, Assassin's Creed from day one has not been a 100% historical accurate representation. No, it fucking hasn't. No, the fuck it hasn't. It's not even even the modern Assassin's Creed setting, like, and I'm talking about whenever you get to play as a character from outside of the animus, that is not a fucking accurate representation of the modern day and age. Now, the fact that Abstergo tried to rapidly commercialize the animus, oh no, that is 100% fucking accurate. If a company could sell you the chance to experience your genetic memories and whatnot, or exploit other people's genetic memories to make a quick buck, they absolutely fucking will. But calm the fuck on. Like, Assassin's Creed 1 during the time of the Crusades is not a historical fucking 100% representation. Like, oh, there's a secret war going on between assassins and Templars? No, there is one. Like, what the fuck? And then Assassin's Creed 2. Now, was there some accuracies in terms of representation of the Borgia? Yes, there was some actual accuracies, but was it a 100% one-to-one parallel to what, was actually done in history? No, the fuck it wasn't! Like, come on, folks! Like, what the hell? Okay, Let's take the ending of Assassin's Creed 2. Hold on. Let's see. Was the Borgia Pope actually attacked in the middle of holding mass by a would-be hooded assassin? Shall we look at that, folks, real quick? Let me look that up right now. Let's see here. Borgia Pope. Oh, I said Pop instead of Pope. Attacked during church. Let's see here. Do. Let's see. Career. Control F. Let's look up the word attack. Attacked Milan. Well, if it was a season junior. Began to attack their troubling cities one by one. Okay. Slavery. Had issued an attack on slavery in the Canary Islands and its people was sucked into the room. Okay. Let's see. Turnberry 2002. They were given to accept the authority of the Pope and Spanish crown were faced being attacked and subjugated in 1903. Okay, so yeah, folks, nothing about being attacked during mass. Like Assassin's Creed from day one, has been rewriting history. It's not meant to be historically accurate. Oh, and let's talk about and that should have been fucking evidence. Okay, besides from the key historical figures being, changed or, manipulated. Don't forget, we're talking about, in the same setting, there was an ancient human-like civilization that existed before us, who also created humanity, who then began to interbreed with us and manipulate our genes so that we'd be easier able to be controlled by the Apple of Eden, to then have some of us rebel, and then for a big supernova-like event that caused a huge massive disruption in technology and planetary cataclysms for only a few select species to survive, and essentially for humanity to then rise from the ashes of the old world. Yeah, absolutely fucking not. Now, so, and I'm pretty sure, Edward Tatch, aka Blackbeard, was not a redeemable fucking character. I am absolutely certain he was an abominable, an abomination of a man who was cruel, mean, raped, pillaged countless people over the course of his career as a pirate. But the way Black Flag would have you think is, oh no, he was a bit redeemable, absolutely fucking not. So let's talk, and again, the reason why I'm leading this message with Assassin's Creed 2 and Black Flag is because they are considered the best of the Assassin's Creed writing and such. So if you're going to give those two games a blank check on using, if you're going to give them a pass for their inaccuracies, then why the hell are you getting upset over Assassin's Creed Shadow, a game which Assassin's Creed fans have been asking for fucking years? We're finally getting an Assassin's Creed game set in fucking feudal Japan where we get to play as a fucking ninja. Seriously. We finally get it, and people are being social fucking justice warriors about it. And I use that term as an insult because I only use that as a term for for certain people because they're the people that get way, like, I use it more as an insult for those that take it way too fucking far, folks. Like, again, I'm all for being, like, political. Again, I'm for being politically correct, but again, context is fucking important. And if you're going to be a social justice warrior for just the sake of trying to make yourself feel good, you're not helping the cause. So, like, okay, now let's talk about Assassin's Creed Shadow. Like, my big issue with it, and I've always been saying this, is my issue is having Yosuke as one of the playable protagonists. I do have an issue with that. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's black. It has nothing to do on whether or not is he historically accurate. No, it has nothing to do with that. My issue with him being the one of the main protagonists is the fact that this is the first time we're playing as a character who is supposedly an actual historical figure. I don't like that. I prefer us playing, newly invented characters, like no named characters of history. I like Assassin's Creed that way. Now, because I didn't want to ever play as like George Washington. No, I want to play as Connor. Some no named half Caucasian, half Native American figure that's not recorded in history books. I don't want to play as a historical figure. Folks, like, that to me is what I don't like about the whole Yosuke situation. I just don't want to play as him. Now, will I play as him? Yes, because one, I'll probably be forced to for one or two missions, and I will play as him because I like the fucking gameplay that they showcased with him, where you are an absolute fucking powerhouse of a man, demolishing walls, kicking people through doors and walls. Like, that just seems absolutely fucking fun to me. Now, do I wish I was actually some random samurai? Yes, I would prefer fucking that. Now, from what I understand now, again, I will trust the person who told me this, and apparently, like, I've seen countless fucking reports of, like, saying, like, oh yeah, Yosuke was a slave turned samurai. I've seen reports of him, like, no, it's not historically accurate. And then I've seen, like, apparent historians being like, oh no, it's a bit of a grey area. No one actually knows, like, which it is. So, again, it's all in the up in the fucking air. And I don't mind that. But, I don't mind the fact that the vagueness of it. Like, so, apparently now, the reason why Ubisoft got some backlash on the Yosuke team is because they hired a bunch of fake historians to go out there and say, oh no, it's historically accurate. I don't know if that is 100% true or not. I'm taking it with a bit of a grain of salt, but I'm taking it with less grain of salt than I normally would because of the person who told me this, and because I trust this person. However, even if it wasn't historically accurate, who the fuck cares? Because as I've already established, Assassin's Creed has never been historically accurate. Now, me and a certain friend have also talked about what we would have preferred to see Yosuke as. Me, personally, I would prefer to have seen him be our swordsman mentor. Like, that's what I would have preferred. I would have preferred him to be some kind of, mentor to us. And then maybe have an expansion or some DLC where he is, the main character and we're watching his story. But I don't want the main game to involve him as, the main protagonist. Because again, that's what they did for Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry. which I absolutely loved. That was so fun. I never played it until my last my playthroughs, and playing as Adewale was absolutely fun. I loved how vicious he was with the machete. I was really worried that they were just going to reskin a lot of Edward Kenway's attack moves, but they didn't. So, yeah, again, I have no problem with playing as a black character or whatever. Again, I have no problem with the female lead either. Again, my only issue is the fact that he's supposedly an actual historical figure, and I don't like that. I would rather our historical figures be friends of our characters or the mentors of our characters. That's what I want from an Assassin's Creed game. Now, they seem like they're going back to the RPG systems, which anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely love. I absolutely love Assassin's Creed as an RPG. It was so... as you know, folks, as you can see, I'm currently playing Assassin's Creed Origins as I'm doing this. I'm replaying through Origins at a slower rate. I'm going to be doing the same thing with Odyssey, and Odyssey is... I consider Odyssey the best Assassin's Creed game, personally. To me, personally, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is the best game. And I absolutely love it, and it's my favourite. Followed by Black Flag. And then followed by Origins. But my point, like, again, and that's just sort of my point, is the fact that, like, these games are not meant to be historical accuracies, and yet people are acting like they're supposed to be and that they should be. No! They absolutely shouldn't. And again, I highly doubt everything that I'm seeing in terms of Assassin's Creed Origins is historically accurate. I extremely doubt that it is. Now, is it possible that, like, there are some accuracies to it? Maybe they got some, people to, be like, oh yeah, this is how these people of this culture would have acted at this time. This is their religious beliefs. Like, is it possible that they have some consultants? Sure. But does that mean it's going to be a 1-to-1, 100% accurate portrayal? Again, absolutely fucking no. I would always be surprised by Assassin's Creed at any level of accuracy. But, like, come on, folks. Do not fall into the goddamn trap of hating on games that before they're even out, and having unrealistic expectations from certain games that have, for the longest time, have done things a certain way. Like, if you're going into Assassin's Creed Shadows expecting a 1-to-1, 100% accuracy, then you're going to be disappointed. Like, I'm telling you now, you will be disappointed. Now, if you go into Assassin's Creed Shadows expecting a fun Assassin's Creed game, where, you have fun with history, like, where things, like, don't play out the way it was historically, then yeah, you'll be surprised and you will have fun. Like, again, I did not like Valhalla. There are elements of Valhalla that I don't like, but, like, did I still have fun? Like, did I have fun in Assassin's Creed, the first Assassin's Creed game, even though I knew it was not historically accurate? Yes, I did. And that's because I was young enough to understand that even at a young age, when I first played my first Assassin's Creed game, folks, and I need to point out, I've pre-ordered the Assassin's Creed game. I am that fucking old that I pre-ordered Assassin's Creed 1. And yeah, I still had a tremendous time, and I knew it wasn't historically accurate. I'm not going into tests writing shit down based on what I've seen in Assassin's Creed. Now, don't get me wrong. There were moments where I was pleasantly surprised about, like, oh yeah, this was actually true. Oh, cool. Now, there are ways to use Assassin's Creed to, learn some actual history. That's what the old database system was for. It would tell you, the old database system would tell you, now, and it used to also be narrated by the actor who played, I forget his character's name. He was one of the Sean. Yeah, it was Sean. Sean used to narrate. The actor who played Sean used to narrate the database. Whenever you got a new codex, and basically it was like the codex in Assassin's Creed, and sorry, in the Mass Effect terminology, you would get an entry about a character, and he would narrate it, and it would be basically from the history books, and then which then led to them making their Discovery Tours set of DLC for games. Now, I believe they offered them for free. They did it for Odyssey and Origins, which is pretty cool. I like the idea of like, oh yeah, we're going to use Assassin's Creed to teach some level of history, but not in the core game. And again, notice that they did it as separate DLC, not part of the core game. Like, it was never part of the core game, folks. Historical accuracies were never part of it. So, like, again, I'm not an expert on Japanese culture or whatever. I'm not here to tell you like, oh yeah, no, the game's going to be 100% accurate. I'm telling you the exact opposite. I'm telling you that like, basically all I'm trying to say is enjoy the ride that is Assassin's Creed. Enjoy the crazy, wacky story about assassins and Templars fighting throughout history all over the world. Enjoy climbing up buildings, stealthing over to a target, and then stabbing them with a cool hidden blade. Or if you are interested in playing as Yosuke, then enjoy just being a powerhouse of a samurai. You know, kicking people through the doors and whatnot. You know, like, just have fun with it. Remember when video games used to be fucking fun? Like when we used to just look at them as a fun distraction from everyday life. Because again, I played Dragon Age Veilguard, and I absolutely loved it. And I do 100% believe that the whole shit was blown out of proportion. So I am going to cover that eventually in my channel, but I've already did an 8 to 10 hour review video where I showcased me playing like those parts of the game, and yeah, it is not anywhere there. In fact, I kept getting more and more excited as we kept doing that video. So yeah, folks, now again, you need to start just looking at video games as entertainment once more. Like, do some games have some great storytelling ways to be told to us? Absolutely. But we need to stop with this whole doing things for the sake of just doing them, so you can put now this is a message for obviously the for the developers and whatnot. We need to stop doing things for the sake of doing them, so that way we can seem, decent, or like give ourselves a pat on the back. Like, no forced diversity. Like, if a character is written to be gay or whatever, then yeah, let them be that, but don't force it. Do not hammer our heads about it. Like, let that character just stand on their merits of their personality and how the story is written for them. You don't need to have constant reminders of it. Now again, and I bring that up because in some cases some writers do that. And if a game gets a little political, let it be political. Like, there are some games where they really are meant to be. Like, again, like Dragon Age 2 was meant, like, for the sake of the story, it was political. It was about what was right and wrong. Like, just because someone has the potential of lobbing a fireball, does that give the rest of the world the right to essentially imprison them for life since they were a child? So like Dragon Age can't help but be political because the earlier installments of Dragon Age could not help but be political because of that whole mage situation. And arguably the same can be said. I did not mean to do that. The same could be said for what's it called? Skyrim. Like hell, like again, think real hard about it, folks. Skyrim's actually very political. The whole conflict between the Nords and the Empire is in and on itself political. The Nords feel like their culture is being washed away because the Empire decided to outlaw the worship of one of their 10 gods because it was the only way to end a conflict that they were beginning to lose. So like the Empire did it out of like, yeah, we need to end this conflict, so we need to give some level of concession. What? And then there's like, and then the fact that some people attach themselves to the Stormcloaks, and that they are extremely xenophobic and hateful towards anyone who is not a Nord. Like again, look at the treatment of the Dark Elves. And the Argonians in Skyrim, So, again, Skyrim is wrought with, political commentary. So, but again, people praise that game. Now, again, I don't agree with the amount of re-releases the game has gotten over the years. But, again, the game in on itself, that game is political, but no one batted an eye. And I feel like we have entered an age where, because of the internet, people are striking down games either because they include some level of something that people do not agree with on a political spectrum. Like again, like what happened with Dragon Age Veilguard. Because Dragon Age Veilguard had trans characters or gay characters, some people leapt at that to hate on it, and blowing it completely out of proportion, to the point where the game's reviews completely, absolutely sank. Like people were just hate reviewing on it, just seemingly to hate review on it. And I feel like the same thing is happening now with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but like when I get to Assassin's Creed Shadows, we'll see how wrong I am. Am I wrong? And maybe it is a badly written story. Like if that's the case, then yeah, I'll probably complete it for the sake of finishing up my Assassin's Creed Let's Play series. And then I'll probably never play it again. But then again, maybe the story is fun, and maybe the gameplay is also as fun as what some of the footage is making it out to be. Then I'll probably end up going back to it, playing it multiple times. Maybe with different play styles, where I play mostly different kind of weapons. At the moment, I'm leaning towards enjoying Yosuke with a Konobo, because I like the idea of just smashing my way through all my enemies. But maybe not. Maybe I'll end up going a completely different approach in a new playthrough. Maybe I'll go traditional samurai, wielding a katana. But again, I'm just going to have fun with it. Now, am I going to be looking at the story and enjoying the story? There's a good chance I will. But again, I'm waiting to pass my judgment until I actually play the game itself. Yeah, because of the way people have been acting nowadays, it has gotten to the point where I no longer look at reviews. And I don't look it's gone to that point because I don't trust people's reviews anymore, because of how often people, again, in some cases, seem to just purely enjoy on hating on something because it happens. Now, I will be giving a very similar speech when I get back to playing Dragon Age Veilguard, most likely. When I actually dive deeper into that game. Because again, folks, I wanted to play them in proper order, and because I'm still working on Inquisition, I only played 10 hours of Veilguard for the sake of doing a little brief review of it. But yeah, so there we go. all heard me rant and rave about how gamers need to get back to just simply enjoying games and like not trying to like be expecting realism or like it's just, oh my god, sorry, it's just ridiculous, folks. Like I am, the fact that I have to give this type of, like, the fact that I feel like I need to justify Assassin's Creed to not be historically accurate or even culturally accurate is mind fucking boggling. It's a goddamn video game. Like, was Prince of Persia like accurate to Persia? You know? Like, come on. Think about it, folks. Like, was the Prince of Persia games all that historically accurate? Think about it. I've already established that Assassin's Creed 2 wasn't historically accurate, but no one batted a fucking eye. Black Flag was not historically accurate. No one batted a fucking eye. So, why is it that Assassin's Creed Shadow, so far not being an accurate representation, being so fucking hounded? Assassin's Creed Unity, not fucking accurate. Every single Assassin's Creed game, to my knowledge, has not been an accurate representation of history, historical figures, or even accurate to the cultures of the areas that we're playing in at the goddamn time. So, I'm going to end this video now, folks. I want to maybe complete some quests, to keep up, the content, especially since I'm revving up the rate of which I record Assassin's Creed videos. I'm going to end this rant now, so I can do some side quests and get that much closer to finishing off Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm just going to end this now by saying, Assassin's Creed was never meant to be accurate. It is a fictional story that we are simply like that. That's just a fun ride, like if you approach the Assassin's Creed games as a fun what if, you will enjoy them all the fucking more. I'm the Celtic Nerd, signing out. One name, one sky.